Part 60. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 591. This word has a very big origin. Lu Yu thought about it and found himself more and more confused. The only thing that can be confirmed at present is this human emperor should be the leader of the 8th heaven. What about the moon god heaven? The 7th heaven? But according to what he had seen in the Shenxiao mirror, the moon god heaven is already the heaven closest to him in time. That is to say, the moon god heaven is the 9th heaven? Lu Yu felt a headache. If this is the case, wouldn't there be 9 heavens in front? All 9 heavens were destroyed once. Lu Yu couldn't imagine it. What kind of enemy could destroy the 9 heavens? Lu Yu, don't be in a daze, the box is moving again. Xiao 11 pulled Lu Yu's arm, and Lu Yu looked up. Sure enough, the ancient bronze box moved again, slowly moving forward. Lu Yu didn't have time to think so much, and quickly caught up. After walking through the black fog and seeing one corpse after another, Lu Yu was almost numb. There were almost countless corpses on the entire Great Wall. From time to time, one would jump up, but it was also blocked by the ancient bronze sword. Lu Yu was still relieved about this. Time passed. After several hours, the ancient bronze box stopped. This time, there was a wall in front of him. The end. Lu Yu was stunned. This is unlikely. How could the Great Wall be so short? While Lu Yu was thinking, a door suddenly appeared on the wall. An old wooden door, rotten and full of black wormholes. Seeing this, Lu Yu pulled Xiao 11 back slightly. What's the situation with this door? The ancient bronze box flew over Lu Yu's head and stopped moving. This made Lu Yu more confused. What does it mean? Let me in? Xiao 11 tightly grasped Lu Yu, looking uneasy. Lu Yu, should we go in? Whether to go in or not, this is indeed a difficult choice. But Lu Yu looked around, and the black fog was approaching again. He had walked for so long before, but he didn't find the exit. If he returned by the same route, it would definitely be in vain. Forget it, take another risk. Lu Yu gritted his teeth and pushed open the wooden door. In the white light, Lu Yu couldn't see anything clearly, couldn't see anything, and couldn't even use the eyes of divine vision. The only thing he could clearly perceive was Xiao 11 was still holding his hand. I don't know how much time has passed, and I don't know where I am. Lu Yu suspected that he was hallucinating. Why, there are birds singing. Listen carefully, there are insects chirping. There is even the sound of gurgling water. Just when Lu Yu was confused, suddenly, the white light dissipated. I and Xiao 11, I don't know when they stood in the field. Next to them was an acre of newly reclaimed farmland. Birds were singing in the trees, and in the distance, the water was gurgling. The pastoral scenery was beautiful. Lu Yu wiped his eyes hard, and he couldn't believe it. Hallucination. Wasn't he still at the Great Wall before? How did he suddenly get here? Xiao 11 also held Lu Yu's hand tightly, a little scared. Where are we? Lu Yu didn't answer this question. Because he didn't know how to answer it. Hallucination. When using the divine eye, everything he saw was real. But if it was real, how could it be possible? The Great Wall had been dead silent for at least an epoch, how could there be such a lively place? It's okay, let's take a look first. Lu Yu looked around and took Xiao 11 to the stream. At the bottom of the clear water, several small fish swam around. It seemed that they were frightened by Lu Yu's arrival and immediately scattered. Lu Yu thought for a while and stretched out a hand. The next moment, the small fish appeared in his palm. The small fish were restrained out of the stream, still struggling vigorously. Lu Yu frowned, and suddenly his blood burst out and went towards the small fish. However, there was no black mist spreading as he expected. The small fish turned into meat paste in an instant. This made Lu Yu's eyes more and more confused. It is indeed not an illusion. Is this real? Lu Yu looked at the blue sky in the sky and the ground under his feet, with a look of seeing a ghost. He looked around, trying to find the flaw. But one detail after another told him. This is indeed the real world. Finally, Lu Yu pulled Xiao 11 to sit down. We should have traveled through space. Lu Yu could only think so, just like Doraemon's arbitrary door. Open and close, and people are somewhere? I'm cracked. I haven't taken the relics of the moon goddess heaven yet. Lu Yu said that he was in a state of depression. Seeing this, Xiao 11 comforted him. Lu Yu, there is no one here, it should be safe. Yeah. Lu Yu nodded. I just looked around and there was indeed no one. As he was looking, Lu Yu suddenly saw the land under his feet. It seemed to have been cultivated. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 592. Before Lu Yu could react, an old voice sounded. It's been a long time since I saw a living person. Chapter 0448 Traditional Virtues, Existences Greater Than Life. Who? The moment Lu Yu heard this voice, he was instantly shocked. Looking back, I saw an old man holding a green cow and looking at Lu Yu with a smile. What frightened Lu Yu was. When did this person and the cow come close to me? Young people are quick to respond. Old people like me can't. The old man smacked his mouth and looked at Xiao 11. Well, she is a very nice little girl, and her background is not simple. Lu Yu. He looked at the old man, his whole body tense. There's someone here, it's so weird. What's even more problematic is what the old man just said to Xiao 11. It seems like you are seeing something? Who are you? An ancient bronze sword appeared in Lu Yu's hand. The old man focused on the ancient bronze sword. Hey, this sword is actually in your hand. Let the old man take a good look at you. With that said, the old man looked at Lu Yu again. There was nothing unusual, but Lu Yu suddenly felt like everything was being seen through. That's it, that's it. It's such a big game, but it's a pity that it's useless. It's all in vain. If you have the skills, you might as well stay here with me and cultivate a few more acres of land. As he spoke, the old man patted King Yu on the head. Go, you won't have any rest until you finish plowing these 3 acres of land today. Moo. The green cow roared and actually went to the fields to plow the fields. When Lu Yu saw this scene, he became increasingly wary. This old man obviously looked very ordinary, but for some reason, Lu Yu always felt unsure when facing him. Old man, you are not a bad person, are you? Xiao 11 said weakly, hiding behind Lu Yu. When the old man saw this, he stroked his beard and smiled. Ha ha ha, I am neither a bad person nor a good person, I am just a person waiting to die. We are all guests here. If you don't mind, come over and have a cup of tea. As he spoke, the old man hunched over and walked towards a hut in the distance. This made Lu Yu even more horrified. I clearly remember that when I looked at it before, there was nothing there. Why did a thatched cottage appear out of thin air? In confusion, Lu Yu still chose to follow. There is almost no need to think about it. The old man in front of me who looks like he is about to die is definitely not simple. Taking Xiao 11 with him, Lu Yu followed the old man obediently. The old man walked very slowly, but Lu Yu noticed. Every time he took a step down, the ground seemed to tremble invisibly. The wind in the mountains, the streams, and even the fish in the water. They all seemed to be moving with strange rhythms. The most important thing is that Lu Yu didn't notice the slightest hint of using the power of the star source. The law merges with heaven and earth? Lu Yu had a shocking guess in his heart. If this guess is true, Lu Yu suddenly became enthusiastic. Old man, this road is not easy to walk, let me help you. The old man laughed, showing a mouth of incomplete teeth. You kid, you're quite sensible. That is, respecting the old and caring for the young, this is CTMD. CTMD? What do you mean? The old man was stunned. Seeing this, Lu Yu said seriously. It's just traditional virtue. I see. The old man suddenly realized something. Seeing this, Lu Yu breathed a sigh of relief. Well, it's CTMD, which is great. Supporting the old man, Lu Yu entered the hut. The furnishings in the hut are quite simple, just a bed, a table, and a few small bamboo stools. You can sit down wherever you like. I haven't seen anyone in a long time and I don't even know how to entertain them. The old man tremblingly took out a can of tea. After opening the tea can, Lu Yu's eyes almost popped out. What is this? Tea. And one that glows? I saw the old man pouring the crystal clear tea leaves into the teapot. After adding some hot water, water vapor steamed out. And the steaming water vapor actually turned into little people, fighting in the air. You can't find this military tea outside. That's right, it's very valuable at first glance. Lu Yu calmly wanted to touch the tea can. Can't this be copied? However, before Lu Yu could reach out, he was stopped. Are you still fighting for the last bit of tea with the old man? No, I just want to take a look. Lu Yu had an sorry expression on his face. Seeing this, the old man smiled. Lu Yu also smiled. After a few tests, he was now basically sure. This old man is indeed neither a good person nor a bad person. If he didn't offend him intentionally, he probably wouldn't kill him. And from the looks of it, they are also members of a clan. Farong Tian and Di. Zhen, Lu Yu was speechless. So far, I have only heard of this level in rumors. The Dharma merges with heaven and earth, and the body transforms into heaven and earth. It is almost one with the entire universe and a transcendent existence that cannot be killed. The Tao is him, and he is the Tao. At this level, Lu Yu had never heard of any specific realm. It seems to be a level. If you are here, you are here. If you are not here, you are not here. Now that he can meet such a super invincible boss here, Lu Yu said that he must make some money. By the way, old man, why do you live here alone? After being relieved, Lu Yu asked casually. The old man smiled when he heard it. If you don't live here alone, wouldn't you have died long ago? It's just like outside. Lu Yu. His smile froze and he asked tentatively. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS level talents at the beginning. Author, Yun Zhong Mu Shui. Chapter 593. Old man, you know all these things, right? It's clear. Why is it unclear? It's just because it's so clear that I don't want to get involved. The word death is the same as the word death on the left and right, so you have to live, isn't it? The old man smiled and poured tea for Lu Yu, and also poured a cup for Xiao 11. Looking at the little man appearing on his teacup, Lu Yu's eyes were a little thoughtful. Everyone is dead. Why would such a super boss say such things? Old man, do you really think there is no chance? Where did your kid come from? He is considered the first person in this era. Isn't it clear? You have failed so many times. If you should accept your fate, just accept it. When the old man said this, his expression was very calm. Lu Yu was silent for a moment after hearing this. What's the reason for this? For a new world is coming. What does new world mean? Lu Yu frowned. In response, the old man waved his hand. No comment, You can find out for yourself. Lu Yu. He fell silent again. After a while, he said this. It's still the same question as before, why can't we win? Because the outcome has already been determined, and there are always beings greater than our lives watching everything. The old man laughed. I can see that you are very talented, and your future may be very bright, but compared to this universe and those existences, it is nothing. Why don't you wait here with me? Maybe there will be a chance to get a chance to seek transcendence, a chance to witness the birth of a new world. It is not impossible to enter it. Chapter 0449. You call this a bully among women who look down on men. There was silence in the hut for a long time. Lu Yu didn't say anything, or he didn't know what to say. No matter how you listen to these words, there is a hint of despair in others. Let yourself stay here and wait for the final battle? This is impossible. Lu Yu denied. I have never even seen the truth, how could I just admit defeat like that? Ha ha ha, young people are like this. I was like you back then. The old man smiled and took a sip of tea. Unfortunately, when I walked further and further and wanted to catch up, I realized that they are not at this level at all. It's useless no matter how far you go. The old man was very sad. Lu Yu frowned even more tightly and sighed. Then you are hiding here to avoid the world passively. What else? Otherwise I would have died a long time ago. I should have died a few epochs ago. The old man shook his head and smiled. My contemporaries, except for those who claim to be themselves, have all turned into withered bones. Apart from us, the universe does not remember them. Lu Yu was silent again. Why do I always feel a sense of self-destruction and resignation among big men like them? As long as the realm is slightly higher, it seems to behave like this. I no longer have any hope for the future. This made Lu Yu very uncomfortable. What kind of enemy is this? You kid, don't think so much. In such a big situation, you may have a chance to escape, so what are you afraid of? The old man said with a smile. Lu Yu sighed after hearing this. What game? Think for yourself. I miss your sister. It's really, CTMD. Yes, traditional virtues. The old man smiled and nodded. Lu Yu sighed, stopped thinking so much, took a sip from the teacup. As Lu Yu drank tea, the little people formed by water vapor also rushed into Lu Yu's nose one by one. Boom! As the tea came into his mouth, Lu Yu felt that his eyes suddenly changed, as if he had appeared in a battlefield. After an unknown amount of time of fighting between life and death, Lu Yu's eyes returned to normal. At the same time, he could actually feel it. I seemed to have experienced a real war. The muscles all over his body are weak, but his understanding of combat skills has actually improved to a higher level. What is the effect of this? Lu Yu looked at the tea in his hand and was shocked. The old man smiled. This can be regarded as one of your opportunities. The military training tea has disappeared for several epochs. I only have a little bit here, and even the great people in the sky can't drink it. Hearing this, Lu Yu nodded immediately. What the old man said is absolutely true. When I saw it, this was good tea. With that said, Lu Yu reached out towards the tea can. What are you doing, kid? The old man stopped Lu Yu's hand. An awkward yet polite smile appeared on Lu Yu's face. I'll just take a look, just take a look. It's better to avoid it. The killing atmosphere of the military training tea is too strong, and the level is too low to see it. The old man slapped Lu Yu's hand back. Lu Yu rubbed his red and swollen hands, feeling like a cat scratching his itch. If I don't copy this kind of good thing, I will feel really uncomfortable. That's not right. If it really doesn't work, how about copying the old man in front of you? System, come on, test him for me. No response. Lu Yu. System, are you pretending to be dead? There was still silence. This made Lu Yu suddenly feel something in his heart. My system ran away. Impossible. What about serving the host wholeheartedly as promised? Lu Yu felt unhappy instantly. The old man looked at Xiao 11 next to Lu Yu with a smile. Little girl, why don't you drink? I want to see them fight. Xiao 11 weakly pointed at the little people fighting each other on the teacup. The old man stroked his beard and smiled. It's okay, I'll pour you another cup later. Ah. Oh, okay. As she said that, Xiao 11 sipped the tea. After her body trembled slightly, she opened her eyes again, and her eyes were already shining. What a magical feeling. Xiao 11 looked happy. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 594. Seeing this, the old man poured her another glass. Drink slowly, don't be in a hurry, I still have plenty here. The old man is right, I also want to drink slowly. Lu Yu shamelessly took the teacup away. The old man glanced at Lu Yu with a smile. You kid, just one drink is enough to waste everything. Lu Yu. Good guy. Are you playing sexist with me? I'm going to punch now. Immediately, Lu Yu was about to show off his superb boxing skills. However, he was kicked out the next moment. There's no place for you here, go out and play by yourself. Lu Yu. Looking at the hut, Lu Yu felt extremely angry. Preferring girls over boys, that's all. Feeling unhappy, Lu Yu looked at the green cattle grazing next to him. Forget it, I can't bully you, can I bully your bullshit? So, Lu Yu ran to the green bull leisurely and took out a large piece of exotic animal meat. Brother, do you want to eat something meatless? King Yu. Lu Yu fell into deep thought as he watched the green cow grazing and ignoring him. Not to your liking? Opening his space wrist, Lu Yu searched carefully. Finally, after a moment, a satisfied smile appeared on his face. Brother Niu will definitely not refuse this stuff. Here, calf, this piece of beef is for you to eat. Can you give me a ride? Moo. As soon as Lu Yu said these words, the next moment, Qing Niu immediately raised his eyes and looked at Lu Yu. A pair of bull's eyes, as wide as a copper bell. This made Lu Yu feel unhappy. Good guy, what a bad temper. I'm so nice to you, and you still stare at me? Thinking this, Lu Yu stared back. The next moment, Qing Niu roared angrily, and with a pair of horns, he headed directly towards Lu Yuding. In this regard, Lu Yu said he was not too panicked. No matter how he looked at it, he felt that this green cow was an ordinary cow. Otherwise, it would take so long to cultivate the land. It's just a joke to block you. Bang! Lu Yu flew away. In mid-air, he spat out a mouthful of old blood, his eyes a little dazed. What the do you call this a cow? Looking at the green bull that was hundreds of meters high, Lu Yu said that he was stupid. With a bang, Lu Yu fell to the ground. At this time, Xiao 11 just walked out. Lu Yu, what's wrong with you? Xiao 11 panicked. Seeing this, Lu Yu forced down a mouthful of old blood and showed a calm smile. I am playing with the cow. What, you want a bullfight? Okay, I like to watch bullfights the most. Xiao Qing, come and play with him. The old man had a surprised expression on his face. Lu Yu. He raised his head with difficulty and glanced at King Yu, revealing a smile that was uglier than crying. Old man, do you call this Xiao Qing? Well, her name is Xiao Qing. She has been practicing for tens of thousands of years, but she is only in the Taipei state. Her strength has progressed too slowly. Lu Yu. Well, I suddenly remembered that I still have something to do, so I have to leave first. Chapter 0450 I'll help you, God fruit. I'm leaving first. Before Lu Yu could escape, he was grabbed by the old man. What's wrong? You want to leave before you even get your things. I didn't leave anything behind either. Lu Yu almost wanted to cry. What the hell is this? I thought it was an ordinary cow, but it turned out to be in the Tebe realm. Don't tell me. That bird in the tree, those fish in the stream, all of them. When the old man saw this, he stroked his beard and smiled. I understand now. Lu Yu. Are you okay? If not, I will take Xiao 11 around to see the scenery. Lu Yu said, and was about to run away. However, his feet seemed to be frozen in place, unable to move. Where do you want to go, kid? I still have something left with me. Something from the moon goddess heaven. Almost, come with me. The old man took Lu Yu back into the hut. At this moment, Lu Yu was in an excited mood. Emperor Tian pays off his conscientious people. Finally. It's finally here. A relic of the moon goddess heaven. It is estimated that if you take out any one of them, it can sweep across the universe within the Great Wall. Thinking like this, Lu Yu's steps became much faster. Soon, he followed the old man into the hut. I saw the old man squatting in the corner of the hut, still looking for it among a group of scraps. A moment later, an ancient bronze box with a corner broken into pieces was thrown over. Lu Yu looked at the box in his hand, which was 90% similar to the ancient bronze box he had before, and froze on the spot. That's it? That's it? Lu Yu. Good guy. Don't tell me that this is a relic from the moon god's heavenly palace. Throw it in the trash can and even the scrap station won't accept it. Lu Yu was completely stunned. This box is too worn. Although my own one is full of rust, I can polish it off and at least it's not damaged. This one is just fine. There are cracks all over the top, bottom, left, and back. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yun Zhong Mu Shui. Chapter 595. Lu Yu even suspected that if he applied some force, it would break. Don't look at it. It's like this. How do you expect the moon god heaven to leave you any good things? Lu Yu. Shouldn't we save something good? I'll leave you a mess, do you want it? The old man smiled strangely. Lu Yu. Old man, I suddenly feel that this thing is not prepared for me. Please keep it for a while and give it to the next person who is destined. I will leave first. With that said, Lu Yu was about to run away. But there is no way to escape by running. The old man snorted coldly. If this thing is yours, it's yours. If it's not yours, it's still yours. Lu Yu. His expression was somewhat sad. Old man, if it's like what you said, there's nothing good at all, it's just a mess, then wouldn't it be a huge loss if I worked so hard and narrowly escaped death to come here? There are some good things, the old man said. Lu Yu became energetic. How good is it? Not as good as mine. Lu Yu, huh? Are you going to accept me as your disciple? Master, please accept me as your disciple. Lu Yu was immediately excited and did not hesitate to perform the apprenticeship ceremony. Instead, he was supported out of thin air by the old man. Good boy, why didn't I know you were so virtuous before, the old man said with a smile. Lu Yu. Why do you act like we've met before? I spilled the beans. I haven't seen it before. The old man smiled, which made Lu Yu suddenly suspicious. This old thing, is he kidding me? Have you really seen it or faked it? Or is he just trying to amuse himself? Lu Yu was undecided. Don't think about it. You can figure out how to open this box after you go back. Now I'll do you a favor. The old man looked at Lu Yu. You are now at the 9th level of Tianyuan, right? Yes, what's wrong? Lu Yu asked doubtfully. Hearing this, the old man narrowed his eyes and smiled. I'll help you and let you reach the Star-Lord level. Isn't this, not good? Lu Yu said that he had just been promoted, and now that he was promoted again, his foundation might not be stable. The old man smiled. He's just a Star-Lord. Are you doubting my ability? No, 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 this junior has no doubt at all. This junior actually thinks this way. Senior, why don't you just help me improve to 7 or 8 realms? If so, wouldn't I suddenly become a strong man? Now that I have become a strong man, can't I explore the secrets of the universe? After knowing the truth, I am desperate, so I can come and stay with you here until I die. Lu Yu made a reasonable analysis. Old man. He took a serious look at Lu Yu. I didn't expect that. I misjudged you. It shouldn't be gender, right? Lu Yu probed. If you don't believe it, I'll go to the toilet and show it to you. Old man. Stop talking nonsense, take this thing with you to the back mountain. When will you break through to the Star-Lord level? Come find me again. After the old man gave Lu Yu a golden fruit, he blew Lu Yu away, which surprised Lu Yu. What is this? Just holding it in his hand gave Lu Yu a tingling feeling. Xiao 11, I'm going to make a breakthrough. Okay, I will also practice hard. Xiao 11 nodded. In fact, the power of the star source here is almost the strongest among all the places Lu Yu has ever seen, and it is quite suitable for cultivation. Finding a hilltop alone, Lu Yu looked at the golden fruit in his hand and fell into deep thought. Is this thing meant to be eaten directly? Just when Lu Yu was thinking about whether to eat or not, suddenly, the system sound came out. Discovered the divine fruit, holy light, suggest the host to copy it. Lu Yu. Good guy. Didn't you run away? Why are you back? Why are you back? Lu Yu's tone was quite unkind. Host, there were monks whose energy fluctuations exceeded the limit just now. In order to prevent the system from being discovered, they automatically went into hiding. Lu Yu. Did they find it or not? Lu Yu asked tentatively. This is very important. The host and the system don't know either. The system's reply made Lu Yu helpless. Well, I don't know anything. Forget it, let's just copy it. Lu Yu smacked his mouth and looked at the golden fruit. System, copy. Ding. Copying is successful, congratulations to the host for obtaining the divine fruit, holy light. Seeing that there was a golden fruit in his hand, Lu Yu's expression became satisfied. 2 pills should be enough. With this in mind, Lu Yu found a comfortable position and sat down. Lu Yu took a deep breath, glanced at the golden fruit, and took a bite. In an instant, Lu Yu's mouth seemed to have glowing light. The pulp and juice flowed out and entered Lu Yu's body. The whole person seemed to be becoming transparent and glowing with golden light. The breath surged suddenly. Chapter 0451, Achieving the Star Master Level, The Way to Say Hello. Lu Yu's aura was soaring. Tianyuan's limit. Feeling the power surging throughout his body, Lu Yu became excited. This is definitely an opportunity for me to break Tianyuan's limit. The effect of the divine fruit is far beyond your imagination. Lu Yu could feel that his blood was already boiling. It was like a rushing river, rumbling, very magical. At this moment, Lu Yu seemed to feel a transition in the level of life. The huge and gentle medicinal power of the divine fruit was transforming Lu Yu's body. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 596. Every cell seemed to be cheering and jumping for joy at this moment. Lu Yu's black hair was growing, and his skin was so white that you could see the golden blood flowing underneath. His eyes were even more brilliant. The vision was shocking. The old man walked out of the hut at some point, hunched over and looked in Lu Yu's direction, touching his chin. "Young man, you are really full of energy, I envy you." Xiao 11 stood beside him, her face slightly red. The reason was simple, Lu Yu was now naked. His energy and blood were boiling uncontrollably, so Lu Yu had no time to protect his clothes. In fact, Lu Yu didn't even know that he was exposed. Immersed in this feeling of rapid increase in strength, Lu Yu saw scenes one after another. There were stars that died, and galaxies that withered. Powerful warriors could not resist the erosion and decay of time, and super-galaxy clusters collapsed under the pull of gravity. Everything seemed to be heading towards an extreme, a kind of destruction. When waiting for this extreme evolution to reach its extreme, Lu Yu was left with only an empty and dead universe. Nothing. Slowly, a sapling appeared in the universe. The sapling gradually grew and turned into a towering tree that seemed to be rooted in the universe. Fruits of various colors were produced from the tree, and after falling, they evolved into small trees. This went on and on until the entire universe was full of trees. Then, one of the trees with golden fruits shook, and a fruit fell down, which happened to be taken by a young man. The picture shattered here. Lu Yu opened his eyes wide and gasped. He was already wrapped in the rosy glow, bathing in the golden light, feeling extremely comfortable. "I have reached the Star Lord level." Lu Yu felt himself and was a little unbelievable. He actually broke through the limit of Tianyuan and directly entered the Star Lord level. He punched forward slightly. The next moment, a 1,000-meter mountain thousands of meters away exploded. And Lu Yu was just punching with his flesh. This terrifying power shocked Lu Yu. He just casually threw a punch, and it had such power. What else can he do with his full strength? Star-Lord level, worthy of being able to destroy a planet with life. It's almost not in the category of human species. Lu Yu's mood became excited. How often did he have the Star-Lord level power he longed for? Happy. This is the only feeling Lu Yu has now. Looking at Xiao 11 who was in a daze in the distance, Lu Yu said proudly. "How? Lu Yu, you. Xiao 11 couldn't speak well. The old man's eyes widened slightly, and he nodded with approval. "You are a man. Lu Yu." Looking down, Lu Yu's expression froze. "Damn it. Next time I buy clothes, I must buy the most expensive and the best materials." Lu Yu's old face turned red, and he quickly covered himself with golden light and changed his clothes. "It's really big." The old man looked at Lu Yu with a smile. "Lu Yu. Ahem, Xiao 11 is here, let's change the topic." If this wasn't Xiao 11 but Diqiao Liju, he would definitely not be ashamed. The problem is, this is Xiao 11. She looks too much like her sister, so embarrassing. In response, Xiao 11's face turned red, and she didn't even dare to look at Lu Yu. This made Lu Yu slightly relieved. Fortunately it was Xiao 11, if it was Xiao Ling. "I dare not think about it, I really dare not think about it." "Well, since you have broken through to the Star-Lord level, you can get out," the old man said. Lu Yu was very reluctant to leave. "Old man, I can't bear to leave you." "I think you can't bear to leave my kin of tea," the old man was disdainful. Lu Yu nodded quickly. "Old man, you are really experienced, you know what I'm going to say tonight when I open my mouth." "Old man? Is your skin itchy?" The old man's face darkened instantly, and he looked suspicious. This kid was scolding him in a roundabout way. In response, Lu Yu laughed and his expression became serious. "Old man, just think of it as me borrowing from you. I will lend you a kin of tea. I will definitely repay you when I become successful in the future." This made the old man laugh. "Can you still become successful? Why not? Isn't it nonsense to live without a life?" The old man smiled. Lu Yu was speechless. This is, really stingy. Forget it, I don't drink this tea today. Lu Yu was so angry. What he never expected was that the old man was stingy with himself, but when he saw Xiao 11, he directly handed over the whole can of tea. Little girl, I still think highly of you. This tea is for you. Ah, thank you old man. Xiao 11 subconsciously took the tea can, as if it was hot, and thanked him at a loss. Lu Yu. What, do you have any objections? No, I have no objections. Lu Yu said casually, but he was actually very upset. The old man snorted when he saw this. It's a waste to give it to you. A cow chewing a peony. Lu Yu. Can a cow chew a peony? Moo. The green cow looked at Lu Yu unkindly. Lu Yu showed an awkward but polite smile. Brother King Yu will definitely chew it. Moo. Seeing this, King Yu was slightly satisfied. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yun Zhong Mu Shui. Chapter 597. Lu Yu's heart was already filled with grief and indignation. It's too hard. It's too hard for me. This place is not my style. I have always been the one who bullied others, how come I am bullied? Sure enough, good people are bullied, I am still too honest. Lu Yu felt heartbroken. And the old man also spoke. If you two are okay, you can leave. Okay, how can I get there? Lu Yu asked hurriedly. He couldn't wait to leave this place, it would be best to run away immediately. Seeing this, the old man glanced at Lu Yu. Why don't you understand anything, kid? Lu Yu. I understand, but I am still here to see your face. Lu Yu roared in his heart, but on the surface he still had a smile on his face. If you don't understand, just ask, you are really a dog. What does a dog mean? The old man was puzzled. Seeing this, Lu Yu explained enthusiastically. Old man, I think you haven't been out for too long, and you don't understand the universe outside. Nowadays, people outside say hello like hum you, CTMD and so on. I see, kid, I hum you. The old man patted Lu Yu's shoulder with satisfaction. Lu Yu. Me too. Xiao 11. Chapter 0452. The old man's token is awesome. After an old and a young exchange of ideas in a very civilized manner, the old man nodded with satisfaction. Interesting, the language outside is too novel now, it's really awesome. Here, this awesome thing, it's an amulet of mine, I'll give it to you. The old man skillfully used new language to Lu Yu. Lu Yu. He suddenly felt like he had shot himself in the foot. Forget it, I've scolded enough anyway, and I can still get some benefits, which is not a loss. Lu Yu immediately followed the old man. The old man walked into the hut, stuck out his butt, and began to rummage through a pile of things. After a while, he threw a black iron block to Lu Yu. I don't know if my token from that year is still useful after so long. Of course, it doesn't matter if it doesn't work. It contains a trace of my consciousness, which can exert its power. Well, in the current universe, I dare not say that I can let you run rampant, at least those giants have to avoid you. The old man's words made Lu Yu instantly energetic. I'm really surprised that my old baby is so powerful. Of course, my words are like farts, absolutely. It's just like a little cow taking a plane, bragging to the sky. Lu Yu immediately gave a thumbs up. The old man silently took note of Lu Yu's words. Ah, I'm almost out of touch with you young people. By the way, what's the word you use to describe a weak body? Kidney deficiency. To describe yourself as old, just say I have kidney deficiency. Lu Yu responded immediately. The old man stroked his beard and smiled when he saw this. Then I have kidney deficiency, And it's very serious. That's right. Lu Yu responded immediately. Xiao 11 stood by, and the more she listened, the more she felt something was wrong. Although she didn't quite understand what these words meant. But she always felt that something was wrong. Before she could think about it for a while, Lu Yu spoke up. Old man, can we go now? Okay, I'll take you on your way. Lu Yu. Following the old man to the outside of the hut, he waved his hand gently. The next moment, the space was torn apart. Okay, after you go in, just use your mind to determine the approximate location you want to go, and you can be teleported there. Okay, thank you very much, old man. I wish you will not have kidney deficiency in the future. See you later. Haha, although you are a bit annoying, this novel word is really good, Cao Nima. The old man laughed. Lu Yu also laughed, then pulled Xiao 11 and ran away. No more. Never again. If he knew the true meaning of these words, he would probably kill himself. Of course, looking at his condition, nothing would happen. Lu Yu was very satisfied. He pulled Xiao 11 into the space crack, and soon the crack healed. At the same time, the shape of the blue star and its position in the universe appeared in Lu Yu's mind. Almost as soon as he finished doing this, the scene next to him began to change. Destination, blue star. Lu Yu was completely relieved. He would definitely give priority to returning to blue star. After all, if he went directly to Chang, I'm afraid it will cause some unnecessary troubles if I go to the city. For example, how did I escape? I have to investigate. Also, I have to study the relics of the moon goddess heaven. No matter it's a mess or something, there must be some good things. In addition, there is Xiaoling. Well, if you count carefully, how long has it been? I forgot. Anyway, I haven't seen her for a long time. I guess I will blame myself later. With this thought, Lu Yu glanced at Xiao 11 next to him. They look so similar. Lu Yu doesn't dare to believe that there is no connection. Everything about him and around him is too complicated. Lu Yu, do you want tea? Xiao 11 took out the tea can. Lu Yu waved his hand. It's okay, just leave it where you are. Isn't Xiao 11's tea also his? His is also Xiao 11's. It's all the same, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you put it in. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yun Zhonmu Shui. Chapter 598. Thinking in this way, Lu Yu focused his attention on the black iron block. The iron block looked very old, and the edges were worn. I don't know what material it was made of, but Lu Yu felt surprisingly comfortable holding it in his hand. The speed of the star source power running all over his body was several times faster. You know, the reaction and output speed of the star source power also represents combat power. The faster the reaction speed, the faster the speed of attack. And the faster the output speed, the more star source power is used in the same time, and the more powerful the martial arts are. In short, holding this black iron block, Lu Yu estimated that his combat power could at least double. This is quite amazing. Of course, it was not this that made Lu Yu happy. But what the old man said before. His token at that time contained a ray of consciousness. If it is activated, even the giants have to give him face. Let's not talk about anything else. Those who can be called giants by the old man are definitely the real top of the pyramid. It is likely to be the strongest in each super galaxy cluster. Even more than that. After all, I have never heard of anyone in any super galaxy cluster reaching the level of the law of heaven and earth. Not bad, good stuff. With it, I will have fewer worries in the future. In the past, Lu Yu was actually more or less timid when doing things. For example, before the trip to the space crack, I had to ask the general town envoy in advance. After killing someone, can you help me take responsibility? But now I don't need it. With this thing, kill indiscriminately. Lu Yu was happy. But thinking about it, his face began to look ugly again. Speaking of which, in fact, I was also deceived. The previous trip to the Great Wall was clearly a plan set up by some big shots. Just for some inheritance. But in fact, the real inheritance is here. The Great Wall there is not the real Great Wall at all. There should be inheritance, but it is probably not a special inheritance. But even so, Lu Yu's heart is still not happy. I have always been calculating others, how can others calculate me? After returning, I have to investigate it carefully. In addition, Lu Yu fell into deep thought. At first, he didn't want to contact the Zero Association at all. But now, to be honest, Lu Yu is curious. There are too many secrets in that association, which is what he urgently needs to know. He has to talk to Yu after returning. Thinking about the problem in his heart, Lu Yu didn't notice that the black fog raging outside disappeared at some point. The whole universe seemed empty. There was only an endless abyss, like a scar on the universe. At this time, a strong breath came out from the abyss. It's strange, there is someone walking outside the Great Wall? Let's catch him and see. Then, Lu Yu saw a scene that made his breath stop. A giant hand flew out from the abyss, swept across billions of miles in an instant, and grabbed Lu Yu and SpecialAbilities directly. Chapter 0453 Self-sealed creatures return to the blue planet. A giant hand that seemed to cover the sky and the sun, spanning everything, came towards Lu Yu. When Lu Yu saw this scene, he was stunned at first, and then quickly reacted. Be careful. Lu Yu didn't have time to think about it, and hugged SpecialAbilities directly. And in the next moment, the originally plain black token suddenly burst into a brilliant light. It seemed that the giant hand was about to capture Lu Yu, but was blocked by the light. Huh? Interesting, it turned out to be the thing of that old bastard. An ancient whisper came from the abyss. Lu Yu opened his eyes and looked at the token in front of him, stunned. This thing, did it work by itself? Lu Yu immediately breathed a sigh of relief. But what made Lu Yu still feel like he was facing a great enemy was the giant hand had no intention of retreating at all. He looks like a young guy, and he has the things of that old bastard. Is there any relationship? Ha! A scornful voice came from the abyss. The next moment, the giant hand slapped down. Lu Yu immediately became nervous again. What the hell? What the hell is it? Don't tell me that the existence in the abyss is the old man's mortal enemy in the past. Wow! Lu Yu was dumbfounded. The giant hand was still slapping the light, but there was no progress. But even so, Lu Yu didn't dare to rest assured. The person might be here in person, and this token is just the token of the old man after all. While Lu Yu was thinking about countermeasures, his blood was boiling. A phantom condensed from the golden ocean and stared at the abyss from afar. At this moment, the giant hand that was slapping violently stopped. It seems that a divine blood creature has appeared. The ancient whisper came out again. This time, a new voice appeared. Has the inheritor appeared? The final battle is really coming. Inheritor? It's just a meaningless move. The era changes, the heavens are broken, and they will eventually die. The voice at the beginning appeared again. Although it is true, you can't take action again. We can't interfere with the progress of the era. Well, continue to sleep. Several voices intertwined, and with the last voice, the giant hand returned to the abyss, and everything returned to calm, as if nothing had happened. Lu Yu was already covered in cold sweat. He glanced at the abyss and moved forward again without hesitation. He didn't let out a sigh of relief until he was far away and out of sight. SpecialAbilities was terrified. Lu Yu, what is that? Self-proclaimed. Lu Yu thought about it and uttered a word. This should be the self-proclaimed person mentioned by the old man. Some extraordinary beings are unwilling to enter the world and do not want to participate in everything in this universe. They just find a place to hide, avoid cause and effect, and wait for the new world to come and enter the new world. This is Lu Yu's guess, and Lu Yu thinks it is very close to the truth. Xiao 11 nodded after hearing this. Then why didn't they attack again just now? Lu Yu didn't know how to answer this question. The giant hand wanted to continue to attack before, but later seemed to be afraid of his own bloodline and stopped. Inheritor. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS level talents at the beginning. Author, Yun Zhong Mu Shui. Chapter 599. Is this what you call me? Lu Yu frowned. Xiao 11 patted the back of Lu Yu's hand. Okay, we are safe, don't think too much. Looking at Xiao 11 who comforted him, Lu Yu nodded and stopped thinking. Before knowing the truth, these were just fantasies. Looking down at the black token, Lu Yu found that there were some cracks on it. This made Lu Yu very sad. The token just played a big role and helped him block the fatal blow, but now it has cracks. I'm afraid it can't be used too many times. Lu Yu expressed regret for this. Sighing slightly, Lu Yu stopped thinking so much and looked outside. The black fog was much thinner. The speed at which the old man let Xiao 11 and himself travel through space was too fast. In just less than a few hours, Lu Yu felt that he had walked almost half of the distance. Time passed quickly. After a few hours, Lu Yu could clearly feel that the speed had slowed down. Is it time? Lu Yu looked outside. As expected, the black fog around him had disappeared. Lu Yu even saw a few wild planets. Although there was no civilization on them, there were some uncivilized beasts. This made Lu Yu very excited. Being able to see living creatures meant that he had entered the Great Wall. In this case, it would probably not take long for him to reach the blue star. Almost as Lu Yu thought, while he was waiting, he and Xiao 11 passed through one galaxy after another. Half an hour later, a blue planet appeared in front of Lu Yu. Blue star. Seeing his hometown after a long absence, Lu Yu was lying if he said he was not excited. Xiao 11 looked around curiously. What a familiar feeling, she said to herself. Lu Yu raised his eyebrows when he heard this. Sure enough, it was not as simple as he thought. Familiar. Forget it, let's not worry about it for now. Coming out of the void, Lu Yu determined the location of Yuanwu City in space. Then, he took Xiao 11 and went directly down. With the combat power of the Star Master, Lu Yu was not noticed by anyone when he entered the blue star. 3 minutes later. Looking at the sky villa in front of him, Lu Yu was very emotional. I'm back. Lu Yu, is this your home? Xiao 11 asked curiously. Lu Yu smiled and nodded. Yes, I'll take you to see someone you will be surprised by. Xiao Ling's face appeared in Lu Yu's mind, and then he knocked on the door. Dong dong. There was no response. Dong dong dong. Lu Yu knocked again, but still no response. No one? Get out of class should be over. Lu Yu glanced at the time, thought about it, and simply gave Xiao Ling a surprise. So, Lu Yu quietly opened the door. The living room was empty, even a little too neat. Seeing this, Lu Yu was stunned. Something is wrong. This girl can also clean the room. Shouldn't there be a few socks on the sofa and a snack bag on the coffee table? In doubt, Lu Yu pushed open Xiao Ling's bedroom. Then, he saw an empty bedroom. Except for a bed and a table, everything else was gone. Lu Yu. People. Lu Yu quickly searched the entire Sky Villa, and what puzzled him was, except for his own things, Xiao Ling's things were all gone. Where did this girl go? Could it be, disappeared? After experiencing too many weird things, Lu Yu instantly had this idea in his heart. At this moment, a surprised shout suddenly sounded outside the door. Who broke into my house and stole things? Chapter 0454. Is this artificial intelligence? Brother, you are the best. Who stole things? Hearing this voice, Lu Yu turned back and looked at the door. I saw a beautiful girl holding a big hammer, standing angrily at the door. The moment he saw the girl, Lu Yu was stunned. The girl standing at the door was also stunned. Brother? The girl said in disbelief. A smile appeared on Lu Yu's face. Xiao Ling, I thought you had gone somewhere. Brother, is it really you? Xiao Ling was stunned for a moment, and the hammer fell heavily to the ground. Then, she flew over directly. Brother, you really left for a long time this time. Xiao Ling hugged Lu Yu tightly, tears streaming down. Tell me, is it because I made you angry that you didn't come back to see me? Xiao Ling's big eyes flashed with tears, and she looked at Lu Yu pitifully. Seeing this, Lu Yu smiled and touched her head. That's not the case. How could I be angry with you? I just went to a very far place and it took me some time to come back. Really? Really? Ah, brother, I love you so much. Lu Ling smiled happily and hugged Lu Yu tightly. The little girl was already 16 or 17 years old, and her body began to develop. Now hugging so tightly, Lu Yu felt a little weird. But thinking that the little girl was so happy, he was embarrassed to chase her away. Next to him, Xiao 11, who was ignored the whole time, looked at Lu Ling in surprise. So similar. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yun Zhong Mu Shui. Chapter 600. It's really similar. The moment she saw Lu Ling just now, she almost thought she was hallucinating. At this time, Lu Ling, who had been lying in Lu Yu's arms, finally noticed Xiao 11 next to her. Huh? Brother, is this an inflatable doll? Wow. Brother, you really like me and have prepared an inflatable doll of the same model as mine. Lu Ling's expression was pleasantly surprised, and she ran up to pinch Xiao 11's face. This is great. It even has its own human body heat. Brother, do you often use this to do embarrassing things? Lu Ling narrowed his eyes. Lu Yu. He was silent for a long time, and suddenly didn't know what to say. At this time, Xiao 11 finally plucked up the courage to speak. My name is Xiao 11. And it's artificial intelligence. It's really good. Lu Yu was even more surprised when he heard this. Sister Xiao 11, tell me, did you take good care of my brother during the time I was away? No. No, during this time, it was all, Lu Yu who took care of me. Xiao 11's face flushed, and she didn't know what to say because of nervousness. Seeing this, Lu Yu patted Lu Ling's head. This is not artificial intelligence. Isn't it? It's a person. Huh? Lu Ling was immediately shocked. Brother, you really touched me. In order to take care of your sister's psychological feelings, you actually made up a white lie. But the problem is, brother, I'm really not mentally retarded. Lu Ling looked unconvinced. Are you kidding? How could someone be so similar to me? I don't believe it. Lu Yu. Good guy. What do you want me to say? Forget it, Lu Yu was too lazy to struggle. Xiao Ling didn't believe it. Then Xiao Ling, Xiao 11 will be your sister in the future. You can't bully her, okay? Yeah, I know, sister is the best. As he said that, Lu Ling grabbed Xiao 11's hand. Come on, Xiao 11, I want to order a song of two tigers. Xiao 11. I really can't sing, Xiao 11 replied weakly. Seeing this, Xiao Ling was confused for a moment, but she quickly reacted. That's right, there are no songs of Blue Star outside of Blue Star. Forget it, you go out first, I want to do something that only brothers and sisters can do with my brother. Lu Yu. Xiao 11? Finally, Xiao 11 looked at Lu Yu with a shocked look, and subconsciously went out. Lu Yu coughed. Xiao Ling, just make a fuss, don't take it seriously. What do you mean by serious? Brother, I tell you, there are many boys chasing me in the first martial arts school. Lu Ling lay in Lu Yu's arms, squinting her eyes and said proudly. Hearing this, Lu Yu took a serious look at Xiao Ling's face. It must be said that Xiao Ling has grown up to be a national beauty. Her white face, bright eyes, and white teeth, coupled with a pair of watery and delicate eyes, made Lu Yu very satisfied. She is worthy of being my sister. Is that so? Did you agree to their request? No, I like you the most. Lu Ling hugged Lu Yu tightly, as if Lu Yu would run away if she let go. Although Lu Yu felt comfortable, she also felt strange. Although she is not my biological sister, it is not good to do this, right? Lu Ling changed her position comfortably and continued. Brother, you don't know, those guys are so annoying. I rejected them, but they always followed me. Shameless. Almost, it's annoying. I feel annoyed wherever I go, Lu Ling said. When Lu Yu heard this, he immediately felt bad. What? How dare you chase my sister like this? Don't you know that this is my sister, Lu Yu? That's fine. I will meet Master Yan at that time. I might as well go to the first martial arts school first. When will you go back to school? Tomorrow. I was going to go home today. I didn't expect to meet you, brother. Lu Ling smiled and was very happy. Lu Yu nodded. Okay, I'll go with you tomorrow. Really, brother? Lu Ling was surprised. Lu Yu smiled. That's fine. Brother, you're the best to me. Lu Ling stretched his head over and rubbed Lu Yu. After chatting with Lu Ling for a while, Lu Ling hugged Lu Yu's neck and said, Brother, I feel that it was better when our family had no money. Why? No reason, at that time you came back to accompany me every day, my cooking was not delicious, you had to bite the bullet and eat, and you had to help me with homework. Lu Ling smiled. Seeing this, Lu Yu was silent for a while, touched Lu Ling's head and said nothing. You can't have your cake and eat it too. If I want to accompany Lu Ling, I have to stay in Blue Star. But staying in Blue Star. The future is unpredictable, so many big figures have shown that kind of extreme despair. Lu Yu really can't guarantee what will happen in the future. If there really comes a day when I can't protect anyone, Lu Yu will only think that he is a waste. It really is true. Moving bricks, no time to accompany you. Putting down bricks, can't afford to support you. It's difficult. Sighing inwardly, Lu Yu casually explored Lu Ling's realm. What surprised him was that Lu Ling had actually reached the 6th level of moving mountains. How's it going, brother? I'm practicing very fast, right? Lu Ling said happily. Lu Yu nodded after hearing this. Very fast. Lu Yu didn't just say this casually.